Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's challenging level puzzle, and it's called Copycat Kropki by Skojo. And here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means place the digits 1 through 9 once each in every row, column, and 3x3 box. Copycat cells. Place 9 copycat cells into the grid so that there is exactly one copycat cell in each row, column, and 3x3 box. Each copycat cell must contain a different digit. The value of a copycat cell is the digit in the cell rotationally opposite itself in the grid. That is 180 degrees rotation about the center of the grid. For example, if row 2, column 3 is a copycat cell, containing the digit 5, and row 8, column 7 contains the digit 9, the value of row 2, column 3 is the digit in row 8, column 7, which is 9, right? So basically, yeah, that's a pretty good explanation of what a copycat cell is. So copycat cells, the cell, if the cell is a copycat cell, its value, the value of the cell is essentially the cell that the digit that is 180 degrees rotationally opposite it, which is around the center of the grid. So for row 2, column 3, it's the cell that is rotationally opposite it is row 8, column 7, which is this one, right? So as you can see, if you go from the center, it's 3 up and 2 to the left for row 2, column 3. Therefore, its rotational opposite is 3 down and 2 right to be rotationally opposite it. And that's if it's the copycat cell. Its value is the one that's rotationally opposite it. So in this case, since row 2, column 3 is considered the copycat cell, its value is 9 because it's whatever the digit is rotationally opposite it. Kropki. Values separated by a black dot have a 1:2 ratio. Values separated by a white dot are consecutive. Not all dots are necessarily given. So for black Kropkis, if this were a value of 4, this would have to have a value of 2 or 8. Remember, it could be a copycat cell, right? Which could mean that the 8 could essentially be here. And that would be rotationally opposite. If this were the copycat cell, this could be any number. But since it's the copycat cell, it takes the value of the cell that is rotationally opposite it. And that's for black Kropki. If white Kropki, if you had a value of 6, this would have to have a value of 5 or 7. And again, if it were a copycat cell, it would take the value of the cell that is rotationally opposite it, which would be here. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, so first things first, there's only one copycat cell in box 1. We also know, so therefore, one of them does not has a different value than the digit would be. If you have 4 digits that are in a 1:2 ratio with each other, it has to conclude 1, 2, 4, and 8. Since there are 5 digits, that means one of them must be the copycat cell. So the copycat cell cannot be any of these. In addition, we know that these have to be have to have it cannot be 1, 2, 4, and 8 because we know 1, 2, and 4, and 8 have to be in 4 of these cells to maintain essentially a 1 to 2 ratio. So then this is also values of 1, 2, 4, and 8, right? But all of them could be here. We don't know. Therefore, this has to be 3, 5, 6, 7, or 9. We know these two are not copycat cells, and it must have consecutive values. So, this has to be 6 with 5 or 7. If the 6 is here, the value can no longer be 1, 2, 4, or 8. Therefore, this cannot be 6. This would have to be the 6, and it has to be next to 5 or 7, right? Which would be next to 4 or 8. So this can no longer be 6. This is consecutive with 1, 2, 4, 8 in value, because this has to be 1, 2, 4, 8 in value. We know that for certain. Therefore, 3 could be consecutive with 2 or 4, 5 could be consecutive with 4, 7 and 9 can be consecutive with 8. So the only one this cannot be is 1. Okay. This can never be 1 because that's not in a 1 to 2 ratio with 4 or 8. So this can't be 1. Therefore, we know 1 is one of these two. Since 1 is one of these two, 1 can only be consecutive, can be only in a 1 to 2 ratio with 2. So 2 has to be the corresponding. So this 2 has to be essentially the value that's copied over. So we know this is a value of 2. One of these 4 is a value of 2. This one cannot be then the copycat. It has to be 4 or 8. Which means this can't be 1. Because it has to be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 4 or 8. So either this is 1 and this is 2 and 2, or this is 1 and this is 2 and 2. Okay, so let's look at what each one of those means. So if this were 1 and this were 2 and 2, this has to be 4, this would be 4, and this would be 8, which would make this a value of 4. And this would have to be the copycat. Because you would have to have 4, 8, 4, right? And this would not be the copycat. So then this would be the copycat. Interesting. Is that even possible? So say this was 4 in the copycat. You could have 8, 4, 2. Actually, I guess that does work. So you could have 8, 4, and 2. You cannot have 2, 1, and 2 because that would force another copycat of 2, which is not possible because that's 4 has to be a copycat. Therefore, this would have to be 8, 4, and 2. Which could be 1 and 2, or it could be 4 and 8. So this would work either as 1, 2, or 4, 8. So that would work. And then one of these would be a copycat too. So that, because this one could not be. So these would not be copycat. So that's if this is 1. If this is 1, then we have 2 and 2. But then you would have to have 4 and 4, which is not allowed because one of them has to be 8. And you would have to have 2 copycats in the box, which is not allowed because we only have 1 copycat per box, 3x3 box. So therefore, this has to be 1, which makes this 4, which makes that 8. This is not the copycat. This is not the copycat. This has to have a value of 4, and we know one of the 2s, and this can't be the copycat, so therefore this must be the copycat. So this can no longer be the copycat, which forces this to be the copycat, so this is a value of 2, but it can't be the 2 itself. So since this is a value of 2, it's next to 3. This can't be 3. Therefore, this has to be 5, 7, or 9, and this is the 2. This has to be 4 because this is a copycat cell is here. So these can't be copycat cells anymore. These can't be copycat cells. And this can't be a copycat cell. So one of these 2 is a copycat cell because if either this is 4 and that's 8, or this is 2 and that's 2. So this is not a copycat cell. This is 2, 4, and 8. This is a value of 4, but we don't. So the value of 2 has to be 180 degrees rotationally from this cell. So this must be a 2. This is a value of 4, so the 4 has to be rotationally 180 degrees opposite that, which means this is 4. This cannot be... what could it be? It cannot be 3, 6. So it's either 1, 2, or 4, 8, but it cannot be 4, 8. If it's 4, 8, this becomes 2 and 1. But then the 4 doesn't work. So this has to be 1, 2. So this is 1, 2. And we know the copycat cell has to be one of those 2. So this cannot be a copycat cell. Therefore, this has to be specifically 1, 2, which means this can't be 2 in value. It could be 2 in value, but that would make that 4 in value, which is not allowed. Because if this is 2 in value, it's a copycat cell, but then this can't be 4. And it would have to be 1, but we know the 1's already here. So this can't be 1. This has to be 4 and the copycat cell in value. This, therefore, has to be 8. So this, we don't know what the number is. We just know it's, so this is not copycat. This is not copycat. So the copycat is, again, 180 degrees rotational around here, so therefore this has to be the 4. This is 3, 5, 7, or 9. It cannot be 6 because the 6 is here. This is 3, 5, 7, or 9, and then this is 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. This has to be 5, 6, 7, or 9. Which means this cannot be, and this is not a copycat cell. This has to be a copycat cell because the value is 1 or 2. So this is a copycat cell with 5, 6, 7, 9. This is a copycat cell with 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. So this copycat cell copies this one, which would either be 1, 2, or 3. It cannot be 3, therefore it's 1 or 2. This is 1 or 3 in value. This is 1 or 3 in value, which means this is 2 and 4 in value, which means this is 1, 3, or 5 in value. This is 3 or 5 in value, so this is 2, 4, or 6 in value. Okay. This cannot be... this could be 3, 4, 5. Interesting. This cannot be one... these are both... Okay, this can't be 1, 4, or 8. And there are no copycats. So this has to be 3 and 6. Which means we have a 3, 6, 3, 6 pair in box 2. Which means that cannot contain a 3 or 6 in the rest of the box. Therefore, 2 has to be one of these 2. Therefore, this cannot be 2. This has to be a 1 in value. Since this is a 1 in value and this copies it, this must be 1 in value. So this must be 2 in value, which means this is a 2, this is a 1. Okay. This has to be what? A 2, 4, 5, or 7 in value. The 4 does have to be one of these two, because it can't be here. Oh, wait, hold up. This is not correct. We don't know if these are copycats, right? So if this is a 2, it copies. If this is a copycat, it would copy that one. So this one's not correct, necessarily. This does have to be 2, 4, 5, and 7 in value. So this has to be 2, 4, 5, 7, 9 in actual numbers. This can't be 2, so 2 is one of these two. This becomes 2 cannot be 1, 5, 7, or 9. So this is 1, 5, 7, or 9. 3 has to be one of these. This can't be 8, and this can't be 8. And this can't be 4, and this can't be 4. And this can't be 4. This can't be 4. So the 4 has to be here. We also know the 4 is one of these two. The 4 cannot be here or here, so the 4 is one of those three. I mean, this could be the copycat cell. Interesting. Okay, so if any of these are the copycat cell, it must essentially be the copycat cell. So these two are not the copycat cell, obviously. Interesting. If this is the copycat cell, that would be 2 in value. But it would have to be consecutive with 1 and 3, which doesn't really work, right? One of these would be 1 in value, one have to be 1 and 3, but then you'd have 2 and 2 also. So this one cannot be the copycat cell. The 4 could be the copycat cell. What values do we have here? This can't be 1, 2, 4, 8, so therefore this is what? 3, 6, 5, 6, 7, 9. This is 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. These are 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. Where is 8? 8 has to be one of these three. If this were 8, one of these would have to be 9 in value. And then the problem is you would have to have an 8 in value here. So 8 cannot be here. So 8 has to be one of these two cells. If this were 8, it would have to be next to 7 and 9. So it could be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. That's possible. If 8 were the copycat cell, in the copycat cell, that is. Okay, so this is 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This can never be 1. Because if this is 1, this would have to be 2 in value. And that can never be 2 in value because the 2 can't be 180 degrees opposite it. Same here. So this can't be 1, and this can't be 1. And this can't be 1, and this can't be 1. Well, this could be 1 potentially, because it could mimic that. So this can't be 1. This can't be 8 either. This could be 1. So 1 is one of these two, which means this can't be 1. So we know 1 has to be one of these two. This one could mimic the 8. Okay. This could be 9, in which case that would be 8 and 8. But then this would have to be 7 and 7, which doesn't work. So this can't be 9, actually. Yeah, these can't be copycat cells. Whichever one this one is becomes that one, right? Then these two both must go to the same one, right? So say this was 8 and that was the copycatted value. This is 8 and 8, say we had a 9. Then this would have to be 7 and 7. Even if this was 7, this would have to be 9 and 9, which is not possible because there's no copycat here. Therefore, the copycats cannot be here, specifically because of that reasoning. Therefore, the 4 has to be the copycat cell. Therefore, 1 cannot be here because you can't have continuous 1 1 can't be continuous with anything but 2, and that's not possible. Therefore, this is a 1. This has to be 5 through 9. So it's either this goes either this way 5 through 9 or this way 5 through 9. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which makes this a 3. So this can't be 3. This can't be 3. This has to be a 7. So this can't be 7, and this can't be 7. This can't be 7, and this can't be 7. So the rest of this is 1, 5, 6, 7, 9. These can't be copycat cells because there's only 1 per row and column. So one of these is a copycat cell. One of these is a copycat cell, but 4 cannot be in the copycat cell because we know that the copycat cells, each copycat cell must contain a different digit. So this is not a copycat cell. This is not a copycat cell. So it's one of these two, and it's one of these two. This one can't be a copycat cell because of that. So none of these are copycat cells, which forces this to be the copycat cell. So this has a value of 8, but we're not sure what it is. So this must be 1 or 3 in value. So this cannot be 4. Since that can't be 4, this has to be, one of these two has to be 4. So this can't be a 4, therefore this must be a 4. The 1 has to be one of these two, so this must be 1. And if this were a copycat cell, it would contain the value of 5, 7, or 9, but we know 2 is not a copycat cell, so 2 has a value of 2. Therefore, this cannot be a copycat cell, which forces this to be the copycat cell, which eliminates all possibilities for copycat cells in that column. These can't be copycat cells because of this copycat cell. These can't be copycat cells, so one of these two is a copycat cell. So this is 1 or 3. This cannot be 2 in value anymore, so this has to be the 4 in value. This has to be then 3 in value, and this has to be 5 in value. So this is 3, 4, 5. Which means this can't be 4, and this can't be 4. Therefore, this is the actual 4, but we don't know if it's a copycat cell or not. This would have to be 3 or 5 in value, but the problem is 3 and 5 are already there. Therefore, this must be the copycat cell. Wait, but then we have 4 as the copycat cell, which it can't be. Hold up. We're missing something here. What are we missing? That's not good. Hmm. Maybe it's the central box that we're making a mistake on. I think the logic checks out there, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Hmm. Um, Interesting. So we know still that this cannot have a copycat box. This can't be 3 again because of that 3. These can't be copycat cells, so therefore this must be a 1 or 3. Cannot be 1 though, so therefore this must be 3. This must be a 4 in value. It, or it could be a 2 in value, but the problem is 2 in value doesn't work here because this has to be a 5, 7, or 9. Therefore, this cannot be copycat and it must be a 4. So this can't be 4. Oh, maybe it was this one. Hmm. This can no longer be 4. This can't be 4, so therefore this is the 4. Ah! I had it wrong here. Okay, so this logic was bad. There we go. That's why the logic was bad. Okay. So the thing is, it's not copying this one, obviously. It would be copying the one that's 180-degree opposite it, right? So this still could actually be 1. And yeah, it could copy the opposite 1 inch. It is. This one, though, cannot be because this does not add up to 5. And if this were the copycat cell, say this was the copycat cell here, that would be a value of 4, which is not allowed. So therefore, this can't be a copycat cell. So this is a 5. This has to, well, we don't know because we don't know this is necessarily 4. We still don't actually know what this is. This can't be a value of 2, so therefore this cannot be the copycat cell. But these could actually work. So we don't know what that. So this could be 1 also. This has to be a 1 or a 3 in copycat value. Or in value. And this would not be 3 or 1 if it's copycat. So therefore this is a non-copycat and it's 1 or 3. We don't know what this is. This could be copycatted the other side. That's possible. So all the 4, this can't be 4 anymore, therefore this has to be 4. This can't be 2. This can't be 2. But 2 could be here, here, or here, or here, right? If this were a 4 in actual value, this would have to be a copycat, right? If this is not 4 in actual value, then obviously this would be the copycat. So one of these two is the copycat, which means this cannot be a copycat and this cannot be copycat. So if this is 4, this would have to be the copycat and it would be 8. But that's not allowed because this would be the value of 8, but that wouldn't be consecutive with 4. So this cannot be the copycat, which forces this to be the copycat, which means no longer you can't have any other column, any other one in the column or box to have the same copycat Therefore, one of these two is a copycat, but it can't be that one because it's not 4 is we already have a 4. Therefore, this is not the copycat. Therefore, this is the copycat. And therefore, this can't be 1 because the value of this would then be 1. So this can't be 1, which means this has to be 1. This could be, again, 3, 5, 6, 7. Cannot be 8. This has to be the values of 5 through 9 because we don't have a 4 in any of the opposite spaces. So then the value of this is 5 through 9. These have to be from 5 through 9. Therefore, where's the 3 in box 5? It has to be here. So this is 3, which means this can't be 3. This can't be 3. This is 1, so this can't be 1. Therefore, this must be 3 here. So we have 3 here and 3 here. Where's the 3 in row 4? It has to be here. So therefore, we have a 3 and we have a 1 now and a 4 in the copycat boxes. So this cannot contain a 1. This cannot be a 1. Where's the 1 in box 2? It has to be here. So therefore, this is 1. 1 has to be one of these two. 1 is obviously one of these 3. And 1 is one of these 2. This has to contain a 6 or 5, 7, 9. And then a 3. This can't be 3 or 5. This can't be 5. This can't be 4 either. So this has a value of 5, 7, or 9. So this would have to be a value of 4, 6, or 8. Obviously can't be 4, so this is 6 or 8. This has to have a value of 5, 7, or 9 then also. It can't be 5. It could be any of these though. This could be the... Also, this could be copycat cell also. These can't be copycat cells anymore. One of these is 2. One of these is 2. This has to be 5, 7, 8, or 9. This is 5, 7, 8, or 9. This can't be 3. This can't be 3. This can't be 3. Where's a 3 in box 3? It has to be here. Okay. This is 6 or 8. Let's see. This can't be 3 anymore. Cannot be 3. This cannot be 3. We have a 5, 7, 9 triplet in column 1. Therefore, the rest of the column cannot contain 5, 7, or 9, so this is 1 or 2. Which means 9 cannot be here because the 9 has to be here for column 3. So 6 has to be one of these 2 because it cannot be any of those 3. This could be 5, 7, or 9. It has to have an 8 and it has to have a 3. So this can't be 3 though. This is 1 or 2. Okay, so this is consecutive. So this has to be value of 5, value of 6, value of 7, 8, 9. So we know this can't be 1, therefore this has to be... This has to be either 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But this can't be 8 in value, therefore this has to be the 8 in value. So this is 5, this is 6 in value, this is 7, this is 9. So 5, 6 in value, 7, 8, and 9. Which means this cannot be 7 or 9. This can't be 6, so therefore this is 3, which forces this to be 6. Which means this is a 5 or 7 in value. So therefore, it cannot be copycatted because this would be 1 and 2 in value. Therefore, this is not the copycat. It cannot be 2 either. Therefore, this has to be 5 or 7. So this has to be 2, which means that can't be 2. So therefore, this is 2. So either this is a copycat or this is a copycat. We're not sure which. We also need an 8 to be in one of the copycat cells. 8 cannot be in one of those. This can't be 4, and it cannot be a copycat because we already have a 4 in a copycat cell. Therefore, this must be the 2 in the copycat cell, which means this can't be a copycat cell because it's a 2, and this can't be because we can only have 1 in each column. Therefore, this is the copycat cell. So this can't be copycat. This has to be the copycat. And we know... Okay, so this has to be a 7 because it's 8, 7, 6. So neither of these can be 7. This can't be 8 in value. None of the other copycat cells can be 8 in value. Except for this. So this one has to be the 8 in value, which means this has to be 6 in value. So this is 7, 6, 7. Or this is... Sorry, this has to be 5 or 7 in value to be next to the 9, next to the 6. So therefore, this can't be 9. This becomes 2, 3, and 5. This can't be 2 or 3. Therefore, this is 5, which forces this to be 2. This can't be 2. So this has to be the 3. The 3 can't be here, which forces the 3 in box 7 to be here. That's 3 in the corner. And we have all the 3s now. I think we have most of the 2s. We don't have all of them, though. This has to be 5 or 7 in value, which is fine. So this is also 5, 6, 7, or 9 in value. Okay, that's fine. This has to be 1, 5, and 7. And this can't be 1 or 5, therefore this is 7, which means this is 1 or 5, this is 1 or 5. The rest of the box cannot contain 1, 5, or 7 because of the 1, 5, 7 triplet here, so this cannot be 5 or 7. This has to be 6 and 9, which means this has to be 8. This can't be 5 or 7, so this is 9. This can't be 5 or 7, so this is 6. This can't be 6. This can't be 9. This can't be 7, so this must be 5, which makes that 7. So these can't be 7. These can't be 5. Okay. This can't be 8. This has to be 1, 7, or 9. And these are 1, 7, 9. Where is the 8 in box 3? Can't be any of these, can't be any of these, therefore it must be this one. I think that's all the 8s. This can't be 8. Therefore, where is the 8 in column 1? It has to be here. This has to be 8. This can't be 8. This can't be 8. Therefore, this must be the 8. That's just from normal Sudoku. What about 4s? We got all the 4s. I think we don't have all the... Oh. This can't be 2. This can't be 2. This can't be 2. So from Sudoku, this must be a 2, which makes that a 1, which makes this a 2. This can no longer be 1. This can no longer be 1. This cannot be 5 here, so this must be a 7. Since this is a 7, this cannot be a 7 because every digit is unique in the copycat cells. So therefore we have a 6969 pair in the copycat cells. So there cannot be a 6 and 9 in the rest of the copycat cells. Therefore this has to be a 5. Which makes this a 9. This can't be 5 anymore, so that's a 9. This can't be 9. This must be the 6. Which means this can't be the 6 in the copycat cell. So therefore it's 9. And therefore this is 6. Oh, wait, we have 2 9s now. That's not possible. Oh, man, did I break? do something else that screwed it up? Wait, why did I make that a 9? That's weird. Can't be 1. Okay. So this can't be 5, therefore this is a 7, and by all the logic that I had previously, I don't know why I'm making all these mistakes. It's kind of bad mistakes. This can't be 7, this is a 6969 pair, therefore the rest of the copycat cells cannot contain a 6 or a 9, so this must be 5, which makes that a 9, which makes this a 6. This can't be 5, this is 9 now. Since we have a 6 here now, the copycat cell cannot contain a 6, so this must be 9, which means this is 7, this is 1. Which makes this a 9. I think this is correct. And this is a 6. This can't be 6 or 7, so this must be 9. This can't be 7, so this is not 7. This is a 5. This can't be 5 or 9, so this is 7. This can't be 5 or 7, so this is 9. This can't be 7 or 9, so this is 5. This can't be 1, so this is 5, which makes that a 1. This has to be a 6 because of all the eliminations. This can't be 1 anymore. Therefore, this must be 1. And this must be 7. This can't be 7. This can't be 6 or 9, so this must be 5, which makes that a 7. And this must be 9, and therefore this is a 6. Yeah, I was making some weird mistakes here. Very cool concept, actually. I like the idea. Like, it was very simple, and yet, that led everything, I guess. I enjoyed it. Aside from making those weird random mistakes. But I hope you enjoyed it solved too. And I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.